WFAN host Mike Francesca is one of the most controversial yet one of the most awesome radio hosts in the country. He does not give a fuck. It's the easiest way to put it.
Sure doesn't.
And he brought up a lot of things about athletes being on Twitter. But first, before I even get into his quotes, we have a few tweets. So let's just roll through them on basically supporting his point that athletes should not be on Twitter. He hates Twitter. So bring up the first one. I believe it's Logan Morrison. And his tweet was an anti-gay remark. Basically, him and a fan were going back and forth. And he said, so, does he like it when you give or receive? As in Blake's husband. And then we move along. Amari Stoudemire also had an anti-gay remark when he called a fan a, quote, fag. So that was another one from Amari Stoudemire of the New York Knicks. Here's Reggie Bush. Everybody complaining about the lockout. I'm on vacation, relaxing. Right about now, we would be slaving in 100-degree heat, practicing twice a day, while putting our bodies at risk for nothing. FYI, last tweet was a joke. Relax, calm down, people. LaShawn McCoy went after his ex. Tyler Sagan had a tweet as well. Surprisingly, he is with the Dallas Stars, and he criticized Dallas and Texas as a whole. I believe we have that tweet as well. And then I think we have one more after that. Only steers and queers in Texas, and I'm not a cow. Well done, Tyler Sagan. And then Johnny Manziel, who has had many questionable tweets, a questionable offseason. Bullshit like tonight is a reason why I can't wait to leave College Station, whenever it may be. All of these tweets got these athletes in hot water. And here's what Mike Francesca said when he was on WFAN. I believe this was last year, but it's a conversation that seems to come up a lot. So here's what he said. I'll just read a few passages. There's a lot of changes, all right? We understand that. The fact that broadcasters, media people, and athletes are allowed to tweet, which should be against the law, is a big change, okay? It should be against the law, right? Because nobody needs to hear from any one of them, including me, because you're never going to catch me tweeting. It'll never happen. I promise you. Never. So I've thrown a lot at you. I've thrown a lot at the audience. Jay, I'm going to start with you. Should athletes stay off Twitter completely?
I mean, if they personally want to, protect themselves, sure. But it shouldn't be mandated. I mean, of course, he's going against the law. I think he's trying to throw some hyperbole in there. But if even as far as, say your club, your ownership, your GM base want to be like, listen, you guys, we're going to make this a team-wide thing. You can't be on Twitter if you're under contract. I think that's ridiculous. Stupid. But
college basketball and college football coaches do that as well, though.
Yeah,
they permit their students and team from being on Twitter.
Yeah, because you got kids and they're idiots and they're going to say something stupid. They're going to react. People are going to jump on them. As I was saying earlier, internet folks and anonymous internet folks can say some of the most horrific things to you.
Trolls.
And as a guy who's used to fighting back, as a lot of athletes are, they're going to fight back and they're going to say really stupid things. I love it because I like to know what people are really like.
Yes.
And then
absolutely.
Some of these things can be offensive and some are just talking.
But here's the one thing, and then I want to get to your take. Here's the one thing. There's no emotion with email and text message and tweets and Facebook posts and what have you. So it could be interpreted any way possible. So yeah, I want to know what they're like too. I think we're getting that with Kobe Bryant, as we discussed earlier. But we may not actually know what they mean because we have to interpret and filter it out. But Dave, what do you think?
I think we're kind of generalizing here. We're taking a very select few tweets that I think athletes, let me start by saying, I think athletes should be allowed to tweet. I think Twitter is an incredible marketing tool and branding tool for athletes. Totally. I can tell you, can you name Logan Morrison's batting average? No. Can you name his Twitter handle? I bet you 99% of people are more familiar with his Twitter than his actual baseball playing. I think, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, they use Twitter correctly. I think it can be a tool. What's that? There you go. I think if athletes should be able to use Twitter, but they should know to use Twitter responsibly. They should know that anything they put out on the internet is free game for anybody.
Totally.
And to tweet with a hot head or do, like Johnny Manziel or anything is just, it's stupid.
It's an extension of a press conference. Every time you see a guy in a press conference and they ask him, so what do you think about the upcoming game? Or how did you think about the game you just finished? They always go, they were a great team, they just had, and then it's, they don't mean that shit. Every time they say, so, game 4 of the playoffs is coming up. You guys are down. Yeah. What are you going to do about it? And he's like, well, we should have to work on our defense. And you're not going to say, we're going to win these next 3 games. You're not going to say that.
Never.
Because, and when they do, jump on it. But for some reason, I think there was a grooming for press conferences that happened with athletes, and the grooming hasn't happened yet for Twitter.